Thank you, beloved family, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the one God to whom praise is due forever. We can never thank Allah enough for coming to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Beloved brothers and sisters, you know, this bearing witness is such a thing that, think about what we're saying. We're bearing witness that God came. That's heavy stuff. That's really just not a lightweight thing that we should mess around with, play around with. God has come. You know that the whole world, the non-atheist people, whether they be Muslims, Christians, and Jews, everybody is expecting somebody. They're all expecting someone. But we know for a fact that he has come. Think about that. Brother Ibrahim and the brothers who make this happen in terms of the video, I was watching something back and I was marveling because, you know, I was saying to myself, wow, listening to myself, looking at the tape that the brothers made. And this bearing of witness to the coming of Master Farad Muhammad, it's just something that I really want us to see. Why did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, it's so good to see your smiling faces? Because if we really know that God has come, there should be a joy that accompanies us wherever we go, in whatever we do. He raised up this black man. When Brother Clid was up here and he's talking about the condition of black people, I started thinking about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was in a terrible condition. Not because he was a terrible man, but because he went through a terrible history. Like the rest of us. Because what was done to black people was horrendous. Horrendous. And it left us in a very, very low condition. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said when he found him, the only thing outside of the mud was his eyeballs. That's how deep buried he was in the filth of Western civilization. Because that's where they wanted black people. And the reality is that even though we've come up to some degree from those days in the 1930s when Master Farad Muhammad came, the reality is that black people are still classified as an underclass. Not even lower class. Underclass. And I know some of us get fooled because we see a few black people, you know, playing football, singing songs on television, boxing. They allow a few tokens into the House of the Parliament to carry out their agenda. They allow some of us to have some money. And so the rest of us think, oh man, we've arrived. No, we haven't, beloved. Not unless we understand that a man came and who that man is and what that man means to us. Because that's the only thing that makes this meeting relevant.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes, sir.
He raised up the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad raised up a whole load of people.
That's right.
And he made black people who formerly were scratching where they didn't itch, bowing down and twisting and shaking, nervous just at the look of a Caucasian. He made them into powerhouses.
Yes, sir.
And the ones that we're all familiar with, Muhammad Ali. I mean, you know, again, you could kind of like look back at history and think, yeah, he was all right. But I'm telling you, man, you got to understand what that brother did when he was alive. and the effect that he had on little black boys like me when I was growing up, when I wouldn't miss, if that man was going to be on TV, it was like Christmas for a black boy.
Yes, sir.
Because it was so rare to see a fearless black man either in the ring or if he was on Parkinson talking, and what would be coming out of his mouth. For the first time hearing a black man talking pro-black, had the audacity to go on a show full of white people and talk about the black woman as being the best woman on the planet.
Come on, man.
And telling all the white women who were sitting in the audience, lusting over him, hear me well, that I don't want you. This is how he used to talk, Muhammad Ali. Very strange, very unusual. I was like fascinated by that. He gave us Malcolm X. You know, Malcolm was so audacious. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that he would have given his life for Malcolm, because Malcolm was such a warrior. For 12 years in the Nation of Islam, he did some serious work.
That's right.
And he put the nation on the map.
That's right.
And he put all of the scholars of this world on notice that there was a new teaching in town that was challenging the status quo.
That's right. Come on, black man.
But many of us, I don't know if we really appreciate that they were working on Malcolm all the time.
Come on.
And in the end, they were able to cause Malcolm to deviate away from his teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But Almighty God Allah didn't come in vain. He didn't come to lose. God can't lose. I have to say that because, believe me, brothers and sisters, I know things have been rough for many of us in life previously. But guess what? Things are going to get rough again.
That's right.
And if you're not careful, it's going to look like we're going to lose. You remember the fight with Joshua the other day? See, there was a moment there where it looked like he could lose. Like Klitschko may get the upper hand.
Yes. Come on.
But using Joshua's own words, he had to dig deep.
Come on, black man.
See, any of us in the room today who can't dig deep,
Come on. Come on.
we may not make it. We're going to have to learn to dig deep. All praise the people of Allah. If you dig deep enough, you find God right here. God ain't divorced from us.
That's right.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was groomed and fashioned from his mother's womb to be the man that he is today. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him, tested him, tried him, put him through a kind of fire to see if he was the person who was worthy to sit in his seat in his absence. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan passed that test. Malcolm was tried in that way, but he failed the test. Muhammad Ali was tried in that way, but he also failed the test. And many others were tried in that way, but they failed the test. Because to sit in the seat of this man, you need to have a certain kind of heart. You need to have a certain kind of mind. You need to have a certain kind of constitution. That, I don't know if many of you know that today in 2017, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is still very ill. I don't know if you really appreciate this. I don't know if you realize that when you see the minister, he has a colostomy bag. So that's his stomach outside of his body in a bag. See, how many of us, you know, we got a headache, or we accidentally pull out the quick in the fingernail. We ain't even going out, that's it. You know that when you get that horrible thing, a little thing just in it, and it's very annoying. The quick. That's what we call it in Jamaica. The quick. But the minister suffers tremendous physical pain. But you would never know it. The way in which he constantly is feeding us and doing for other people.
Yes, sir.
And delivering the message that God gave to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and gave to the nation as a whole. The minister just keeps on giving that message relentlessly, regardless of his own personal circumstances.
Come on, man.
See, I was listening to Brother Clint and I was thinking, my God, you know, because I don't want it to really sound like I'm up here to complain, because I'm not going to complain. But I want to encourage the believers, those who may not here today, but who may see this at some point. You know, family, you really need to come home to your nation, because we've got some serious work to do.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know why you're doing what you're doing or thinking that somehow you can negate what you were given, but it's not going to happen. There will be a reckoning. We will be held to account for what we've been given if we now put it behind our backs.
Right.
And so I would encourage you, beloved family, do the right thing. Dig deep.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Get some steel in your backbone. And understand that the God who came, Master P.O.W.E.R Muhammad, he is in full effect. And he is planting himself, his mind, in the black man and the black woman today.
Go ahead, bro. Come on, man.
And so I would encourage you to come out and hear the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because that's the only thing, I've got to say this, and I really hope that you take this on board. That's the only thing that will liberate the black man and woman today.